Hi, I'm Lisa from A Sewing Life and asewnlife.com. Welcome to this channel. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. Hope you're already a subscriber, but if not, if you could subscribe, that would be lovely. Right, in this video today, what I'm going to do is show you some projects that you can make that are really, really fast. You can sew them up in 10 minutes, okay? I've got 4 different projects for you here. They can all be made using small amounts of fabric. I've used 2 different fabrics in this. I've used a fabric that's 100% linen, and then I've used a little cotton print as well, but you can use anything you like. So I hope that you're really going to enjoy these projects. They're really quick, really easy, completely suitable for a beginner. So if you can sew a straight line, you can make these projects. Okay, so I will see you at the end of the video. Okay, so we're going to make a tea towel first of all. So I've got a piece of fabric here which measures 50 centimetres by 80 centimetres, which is 32 by 20 inches. This is 100% linen. I would recommend that you use something of natural fibre, so a linen or cotton or a mix of the two, something like that, so that it's absorbent, because after all that's what we want to use it for, a tea towel, to absorb the water. All you're going to do with this is fold over all of the 4 edges. So I'm going to use a turning of a centimetre, which is 3/8 of an inch, and then another centimetre, 3/8 of an inch. And I'm just doing it with my fingers, because I actually prefer to do it like that. And then what I'll do is, once I've pressed it all with my fingers, I'll then bring the iron out. So I would advise you to have your iron on during this project. Okay, and then just do the same around the other 4 edges. Now what you'll need to do is just be careful on these corners. So you want the corners to be neat. So I've just literally folded them over like that, can you see? So what I will do is I will clip the edges and put some pins in, just to keep it in place, ready to sew. And what you need to do is simply take it to the sewing machine and sew all around the 4 edges, okay? And then you will have a beautifully made tea towel. Ready to use for drying up all of my cups and saucers. Right, so the next project is going to be fabric wrap, so to wrap up a present. And it's brilliant because it'll be reusable. So you can make any size you want. I recommend using a square. I've used 55 centimetres or 22 inches for this one, so which fits a book that I'm going to wrap up. So I will put it at an angle, and just to show you how it's going to work, put it over and then tie the edges like that. So that's what it will look like when you're finished. So all that you do for this is really, really simple. You simply hem all of these edges. So I would turn it over by a centimetre, 3/8 of an inch and another centimetre, and then do the same as for the tea towel, press it down and then iron it all the way around. So exactly the same as for the tea towel really. So now that's all ironed, what I'm going to do is just pin it in place. I'm going to use these clips at the corners just because I find they're easier to keep the corners in place, and then pin everything else. You don't need loads of pins because the iron has already kept it in place. And then take it to the sewing machine and sew all the way around all 4 sides. So here's the finished cloth that we're going to use to wrap a present. So I put a book in here. Just wrap those 2 over first and then bring the sides up, put it in a knot. There, that looks really, really cute, really nice, and then I'll be able to use that time and time again. Really pleased with that. Right, this is going to be a hair scrunchie, so you can use any fabric you like. The measurements are 10 centimetres by 70, which is 4 inches by 27 inches. So you need the iron again for this one. First thing that you're going to do is, that's the right side, sorry, that's the wrong side, so wrong sides together, so you can see the right side here. Okay, fold it in half and iron. Okay, then you are going to iron the edges in, so fold it in by a centimetre and iron into place all the way down. And then you do exactly the same to the other side, same width, so a centimetre or 3/8 of an inch. You're actually going to open those folds out, because the first thing that you're going to do is open them out and then just sew across there, right sides together, and then what you've created is you've created a loop. Okay, so take that to the sewing machine and sew there. Once you've sewn that seam together, simply press it. Okay, and then what you're going to do is fold the wrong sides together and then just pin it together all the way around, matching up these 2 edges. Everything is pinned now, the whole way around is pinned. What you need to do is leave a gap of about 5 centimetres that's not sewn, because you're going to sew all the way around the edge, just about 2-3 millimetres in from the edge. But this gap of 5 centimetres is where you're going to thread the elastic in. So take that to the machine and sew all the way around, leaving that gap. Right, so once that's sewn all the way around, what you need to do now is add the elastic. So take a piece of elastic, 20 centimetres or 8 inches, and use a safety pin. Just put the end onto the safety pin, and then you're just going to go through the hole and thread it all the way around. Now, because it's just quite a short piece, it's a good idea to actually clip the other end onto this there, so that it doesn't get lost, because otherwise it might just shoot inside. So put it all the way around. You want it to come out the other end. Okay, so it's come out the other end. And then what you want to do, squash all of those down, and you can either just tie a knot in it if you want to. If you do tie a knot, tie a double knot, and I would add another sort of 4 centimeters if you're tying a knot. But otherwise, what I tend to do is, rather than tying a knot, it makes it more secure if you just literally sew up and down there a couple of times just to secure it. Now just drop the elastic inside, and then all you're going to do is now close up that little gap. So just literally sew that last little bit there, and then you're done. So here we go. The scrunchie is finished. Looks really nice. So you'll probably wrap it around twice like that. That's lovely. I've also got another one here that I've made in a slightly shallower depth, but also looks very, very cute. So there is the finished scrunchies. This is going to be the coaster, which you can put your mug on, or a teapot, or anything else that's hot. So I've got 3 pieces that are exactly the same size, which is they're a square, and they're 15 centimeters, which is 6 inches. You can have any 2 fabrics that you like. I've got 2 different ones for front and the back, but you can do the same if you want to. It's completely up to you. And you'll also need a piece of felt, which is what will take the heat in the middle, or you could use a piece of batting if you wanted to. So anything that's got a bit of sort of absorbency to it and will cushion and take the heat from the cup or the hot thing. So what you need to do is, and it's very important that you get the order right, so the 2 pieces which are going to be on the top and the bottom, put them together, right sides together, and then put the felt or the batting on top. Okay, so then pin them together, and then what you're going to do is you're going to sew all around the edges, but you're going to leave about a 7 or 8 centimeter gap there, which is where they're going to be turned inside out. Okay, so take that over to the sewing machine and sew that together. So when you've sewn all the way around, the next thing to do is to trim off the corners. And the reason for doing that is so that when you turn it inside out, there's less bulk on the corners and it's easier to get a nice shape. So then use the opening and literally turn it all inside out. When you do that, just be careful with the corners. Try and press them out as well as you can, so they've got a nice clean edge. The last thing you're going to do is this edge here that you've just used to turn it underneath, fold that back. It will naturally sit in line with all the other seams. Pin it in place, and then all you're going to do is sew a line of stitching all the way around the edge, close to the edge, and that's going to be it finished. So this is a finished little coaster, made a couple of them. They're both the same either side, and I think they look really cute. So I'm just going to give those a final iron and then they'll be done. Here we have the finished coasters. I've made 2 of them, both exactly the same. I think they look rather cute and they're going to look really nice with a cup balanced on them. So super. So I hope you have really enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Hope you've made some lovely projects. You'll be able to give these as presents, keep them for yourself, whatever you choose to do. So thank you again, and I will see you in one of the next videos. Bye.